Hello, this is Vance, and this is Wednesday, January the 10th, 2018. These are CL trades for today using the slow hand method for price action. This is the opening of my video that I did this morning. Talked about the market, talked about where prices were going to be heading and so forth. I talked about the fact that, at the open, where prices were going to respond. This is about 840. As it was, prices kind of drifted down to this area, kind of bounced around here, and kind of moved around until about 10:30, and then prices went lower, and then from there kind of came back and retested this area later on in the day. But what I was talking about is that we're right in the middle of this 30 tick rotation here at 840. Price did dip down in this area when prices opened, and then kind of really went sideways until about 10:05. And I'll show that in a second for today. I just want to kind of show you what it was looked like stripped down first thing this morning. My expectation was that I didn't know whether the prices were going to test this area here, whether we go that much lower than this area, because this was really the overnight low, and didn't know how prices were going to respond from there. But certainly, I'll show you how prices kind of get really volatile right around the news. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, so here is this is the area what I was talking about this morning, where prices were kind of bounced this area. This was about 840 right in this area. And as you can see, that price was really rotating. This was the 30 tick range. This was the bottom. I put in these dotted lines afterwards, after these dashed lines. And then from there, you can see that price kind of moved its way down to this area. And this is 940, so this is quarter to 10. And as we can look at as we head forward, price dipped down a little bit lower. This is 10 o'clock, went below the low, came back up. So you can see it was kind of tight, really bouncing along this area right here. And right here was 10:30. This is where the news came out, right at this bottom line. So you can see that price is trading within a pretty tight range. From 840, it's really 15 ticks. So that's kind of the idea that I was talking about early this morning, was the fact that in anticipation of that DOE report, prices will get really kind of tight. And I would argue that it was probably like that all day. Yesterday, we had this really big run-up was because of the expectation, the API report, there was a significant drawdown on the amount of crude oil. And so right at 430, the prices really spiked up here. However, once the market had priced that in, and in the overnight, you can see that there's anticipation as far as what's going to happen first thing or at 10:30. Is the drawdown going to be larger? Is it going to be smaller? Is it going to confirm it or not? And so that's what you really have to wait and see. So that's why when I talk about, say, 9:30, 9:45 to 10:30, prices really get really compressed, and you can see that happening here, despite the fact you don't know which way it's going to go as far as price is concerned. There's no real clear definition. I'm not saying that prices can't move, but certainly you want to, for me personally, I wait until the news comes out and then go from there, or when the report comes out. So 10:30, you can see that prices spiked down. Whether or not it was responded favorably or not, might have been a little bit more build in gasoline and so forth, but right after that, prices headed back down. And now let me just show you something right here. This is 10:30 right here when the price is open. This is 10:34 is right here. This is 10:37. So 10 minutes, we have prices drop almost 30 ticks, come all the way back up within a 10-minute period of time. So that's what creates that volatility that happens right at the report. And prices are really kind of it's not until you really want to wait till things settle out. And there's no real fixed time limit on this. Let's talk. There are some traders that will wait and won't trade until an hour after the report comes out. That's when things typically will settle down. I mean, I'm not necessarily that hard and firm on that time period, but certainly you'd like to take a look at at least a half an hour or so. It's really hard to say. I mean, of course, if you're on the right side of the trade, it's not a problem. But if you're looking at it, like here, we're looking at 10:40. So this is almost 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. So this is 11 a.m. right here, and you can see that prices. Look at the rotation that we had, up to 30 ticks, down another 25 or so, comes back up. And so when do prices really settle themselves out? Now, is this the bottom line? Is this low right here? Is that just above $63? Is that the line in the sand? Is that where we've built up, where prices really have a foundation? Well, hard to say. I mean, the only thing is that when you get down to this area, look, we've had prices bounce at this area. We're saying at just above $63, and prices really move down to retest, gets close to that, gets down to 63.20. So I'd have to say, and this is what I would suggest, is that if you look at, somewhere in this neighborhood, like maybe around here, you have to see that maybe this is kind of like support in that area. This is kind of just really close to the report, the DOE report, but maybe in this area. Prices already tested once, tested again, and then when it rotates like this, it doesn't go down any further. Perhaps this would be an area where you would look at going long, right about here. And then if that's, and you can see for the rest of the day, prices did move its way up, and then that was it. So it did retest. It did come to this other side, almost, not quite to this. So it did make its way back up. So today was a really big range day. And I mean, the only way that you can really get in on something like this is that if you buy near the bottoms. Hope I'm making sense for this. Maybe as we go forward, it'd be a little bit more explanation with regard to these days. But these days are tough. I mean, the news days, Wednesdays are in the middle of the week. It's always difficult. It can be very challenging. And so there are some recommendations if you have trouble with trying to see some of these things on the day of the DOE report. Maybe just stay out of the market. Don't trade on Wednesdays. I mean, there's plenty of action to happen on the other days of the week. There's no reason for you to be so dogmatic as to continue to practice or to continue to trade even on a Wednesday. So if you have trouble seeing it, you can maybe stay away from it. Stick to areas and where you can really that you see it much more clearly. Anyway, just a quick update. Hope that makes some sense to you. Have any questions, let me know. Again, this is Vance. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.